Have you ever had a situation where like you just existing and you just notice this person that just has a very odd energy to them? You can't really put a finger on it until it's too late, until you really figure out, this is really giving off creepy vibes. It can happen anywhere, grocery store, parking lot, gyms, but for me, it happened at work. As you know, I like to have my story times be also like something that you can learn from, because you know, I'm older now, I'm entering my señora phase and I have a lot to share. So grab your wine, snacks, everything you need, and join me for story time. While you do that, I'll give you a few little minutes. Okay, I really want to tell you guys about something that I think you really would benefit from. My mom used to always tell me when I was younger, Mija, take care of your body. It's the only one you have. Drink your water, go to the gym, get good rest, stop staying up until 2 o'clock in the morning every night. You know what I mean? I did not listen, and now I understand why, because girl, your body goes through so many changes as you get older, and after going to visit your doctor and everything, you might just find out that you need a really good supplement or you need some vitamins. I really want to give a special thank you to Care Of for partnering with me on this video, and I really think that you guys will find them beneficial because girl, vitamin supplements can be found many different places, but what makes Care Of different is that it is personalized to you and it comes directly to your door. The convenience of it all, girl, I was sold immediately. Especially if you're a girly like me that forgets to take vitamins or like just has a hard time, or if I run out, like I'm not in a hurry to go to the store and go get another bottle and then all of a sudden I've gone 6 months without any vitamins. If that's you and you really are working on your health and wellness goals and like, you know, transitioning from summer into fall and winter, girl, like this is the perfect time to get yourself hydrated and self-love, self-care. This is also a part of that. So if you're interested in looking for some great supplements that are personalized to you, all you have to do is visit Care Of's website, take a really quick quiz, and they ask you all about your lifestyle as well as your goals, what you're doing right now, how much water you're drinking, how many times you exercise, your preferences, what are you eating, how much are you sleeping. All of these things are taken into consideration. A personalized vitamin pack just for you based on scientifically backed research, based on your answers on this quiz. It is so simple. Care Of has these amazing daily vitamin packs. This was the biggest convenience for me, y'all. It is personalized to you, okay? And they also come with inspirational, motivational quotes and like messages on the front of them. You don't have bad days, you have bad moments. Make today a great one. You know what I mean? It's cute. Now, my pack includes a few different things. I have a multivitamin in here because that's what I needed. I also have an iron supplement, a calcium supplement, because you know I had kids, girl. And then I have rhodiola, which I learned about for the very first time, which is a great thing about Care Of. When you take their quiz and they give you their recommendations, you learn about new vitamins that you didn't even know about before and how they're beneficial. The great thing about these is it comes in a really cute, convenient dispenser, girl. And this thing is slim, sleek. It can fit anywhere next to your toothbrush. It can fit next to your coffee maker. These are also pre-packaged and perfect for traveling. This really helped me stay on track when I went on my girls trip, when I went with my mans to New York. Girl, I had my vitamins with me because they're so simple. For me, what changed my life was the iron supplement. I've always had like an iron deficiency. If any of your needs change, you can always retake the quiz and then your packs can be updated and they'll send them straight to your door. You'll have a 30-day supply, and they also have prenatal supplements if that's something that you're interested in, because I know that a lot of my Glamazons are expecting right now. Congrats, girl, by the way. And prenatals are so important. So if any of those things are of interest to you, if you guys are just looking into health and wellness as a whole, don't know where to start, definitely check out Care Of. You can check out my description box and click that link there, or you can just pull out your little handy dandy phone, give this a scan and take their quick quiz to get started. Definitely use my code Nikki Glamour for 50% off your first month with Care Of, just to see, just to check it out. And if I can get you guys to, you know, get a head start on self-care inside and out, that's exactly what I'm gonna do, girl. And Care Of can help you do that. My entire vitamin and supplement routine is like amazing right now. With that being said, thank you so much to my homies over at Care Of for partnering with me on today's video. Definitely check them out and let me know how you like them. But without further ado, let's get into the story time. Girl, okay, so sit down, sit down. So I was working at this job, obviously, right? And it was like this really tall sky rise. I think it was like probably the largest, most fancy schmancy building I worked in. Well, maybe not, maybe like the second. But anyways, girl, I start working here and I'm gonna tell you right now, like the interview process was pretty strenuous for this one. And I didn't even think that I was going to get the job. But I did. And like, you know, that whole fake it till you make it, that was what I was doing 100%, 100%. Like, it's not that I didn't know how to do my job. It's that like, this was a bigger corporation. There was a lot more responsibility. So there was a little bit of a learning curve. A little bit, but you know, fake it till you make it, okay? Girl, they had unlimited OT. Unlimited. You cannot. I had never been in a position that did this before. But anyways, my boss was super cool. The girls that I worked with were really nice. You know, administrative assistant role as per usual, you know. Shabam, okay? This was a huge building. So of course we have like the security desk that's on the, you know, the main floor in the lobby. And it's a huge security desk, okay? And it's like, there are two big chambers. I don't know what you call them. Like two big areas full of elevators. 1, 2, and then the security desk is right in the middle, okay? And it's humongous, beautiful, like black marble, okay? And there's like 2 to 3 security guards there usually. I really got the works with this place. They even had a gym that was a part of our employment there, and it was, you guys, the view from this gym was crazy. It wasn't that big, but it was just like very luxurious, and like the equipment was like state of the art. It was so nice. Well, at this point in time, I was having a little bit of car issues, okay? And I was like fully on the RTD. And so a lot of times and I hated riding the bus that late, and especially during the winter because it would get dark really, really fast. And it would just make me nervous for obvious reasons. And David, you know, he was working hella far, girl. Like they would have him, I'm not even kidding, like an hour and a half, sometimes 2 hours away every single day. So because I had OT, I would, you know, work on my projects later on in the evening with my supervisor's approval, obviously. I would just kind of wait it out, and typically I was working until like 7:30. That's usually how long it would take David to get from his job site over to me so that he could pick me up and I wouldn't have to ride the bus that late at night, right? So David was so sweet for doing this. So we start making this a routine, and I get into the habit of like logging out, and I was usually the one shutting down the office and everything because, you know, I was there late. So I shut everything down and then go downstairs and wait for David in the lobby because it was like nothing but glass. I could see out onto the street, right? They had these different pod areas down there with like different chairs and seating area, and I would sit out there and read or be on my phone or whatever. I don't remember the first time that I noticed this guy, but I just remember like the first time we had chit chat, like small little chit chat, but he wasn't the normal security guards from the rest of the day. He was like night security. And we're gonna name him Corey, okay? He, you know, starts having little chit chat with me. Hey, you know, how's your evening? You know, he makes mention of like, you know, you've been here late recently, and, you know, I see you all the time and stuff like that. So, you know, we just start having a little chit chat, and I'm like, yeah, you know, like I just have so much work. And he started asking me about like who picks me up. He was like, oh, you know, like who are you waiting for? Like who picks you up? Boom, bitch. Like that was like the first, like, I don't know, like a little mini red flag where I was like, why do you care? Oh, my fiance is picking me up. And so, you know, he was like, okay. And so like that was the first time that I remember, I don't know, it was just like it almost seemed like a forced conversation where I was confused by it because, you know, it's okay if you don't want to talk, like it's late, you know, that's okay, like a little bye or whatever. But this man for real, like tried to have this conversation, and it was just it was like pulling teeth. I don't know how to explain it. It was just awkward. So I got in the truck and I was like, oh my God, like, you know, I never noticed that security guard, and like he was asking who was picking me up. And, you know, I tell David this real quick and he was like, oh, okay. Anyways, girl, after that small conversation, I guess Corey felt like we were home skillet biscuits, bitch, because after that, I could not go down there and sit and wait for David without this man. Like he would for real come out from behind that desk and like lean up against it, and it's like a few feet away from like where I'm sitting, and he would just stay there. And the entire time he insisted on having, and I could see, I don't mind, bitch, don't misunderstand, I'm not mean, okay? I don't mind having chit chat if like, you know, you just feel like being social. But if it's not something that, you know, like makes you comfortable, he was clearly very uncomfortable. Like, so I didn't understand why he was coming out of his way to do this. I really don't. Night after night goes around, and we're having like, you know, just regular weird ass conversation. And, you know, it's always the same thing over and over, work related and stuff like that, until one night he starts telling me about his life, how he lives in this apartment with his tia. I don't know, like he takes care of her, like sleep is overrated. And he was like, after I get off of work here, I just roam the streets. And I was like, oh, like, and he was like, I don't really need that much sleep. Like, sleep is overrated. I get like 2-3 hours and that's all I need. Like, he was very big on that. Like, he doesn't sleep. And I was like, okay, Batman, like, relax. I don't know. I don't remember how the conversations flowed, but I remember him telling me that about like his personal circumstance and where he was living and all of that. And then he flipped it on my ass so fast. Funny. Hey, I wanted to ask you, I don't see a ring. Girl, this was out of nowhere, like out of nowhere. And I was like, what do you, huh? And he was like, you said that you had a fiance. I don't see a ring. Okay, bitch, I'm gonna be completely honest, okay? David and I came from nothing. Clothes and trash bags, sleeping on the floor, could barely afford our rent, nothing. I wasn't actually engaged. David had already told me his intentions, but the boy had not proposed yet, right? So I didn't have like a ring. And like typically, I don't know, I had not like been asked this. Typically I would just be like, oh, I'm engaged, and then like people would be like, oh, that's great. I don't know. So this took me off guard. So I'm like, I'm not gonna be like, oh, we have no money and like we can't afford it right now, but I swear like we are engaged. So I'm sitting there, so here I go, and I start lying to this boy, and I'm like, oh no, yeah, like my ring is it's getting cleaned. And you know, he just wanted to make sure it was perfect for the big day, and we're like wedding planning and this and that. And I just felt like this incessant need to like make sure that he understood that I was in like a relationship, right? And as I'm talking, girl, he starts taking steps, and I'm like, oh shit. And he comes and sits on the arm of the chair that I am in. Right? With the most serious look on his face, he looks at me and he goes, I don't mean to pry. When somebody says that, yes, fuck you are. You are about to pry hella. Why would you be with a man who allows you to not have a car? Now, this man don't know my situation, okay? Like, he doesn't know if I just, like, prefer to, you know, get picked up. I never said I didn't have a car. So I'm looking at him and I'm like, how do you know I don't have no car? Because I saw you. You better get your you self away from me. Like, what you mean you saw me? So I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh my God. You know, it's in these moments that you really have to, in your head, try not to freak out, because you're in a situation that could go left real fast. Okay, so here I am, and I'm like, oh my God, no way, where? And he's like, oh yeah, I saw you at the bus station, because like there was a big bus station, huge, that was on 16th Street. They moved it now, but it was like a big bus station. He was like, yeah, you know, I've seen you in there a few times. And I was like, you know, you always seem like you were in a hurry. So I never said hi, but like, yeah, I saw you, which is a fucking lie, because like, yes, I was in a hurry to like get home, but I would always have to go to that station and wait. Cause you know, you can't just get on a bus, you gotta wait. All of this is false. All of this, if he would have seen me and like wanted to say hi, he could have, is my point. This boy is telling me that he was just watching from afar, and it was multiple times, and he just never said hi. And I'm like, okay. And this is where you're gonna hear this a lot. I'm not the only one that has heard this come out of a man's mouth. Now, if it were me and you were with me, I would never let you walk further than 10 steps before getting in a car or whatever. Like, okay, y'all get the gist. Like, if it were me, you would have a car. If it were me, like, you wouldn't be doing that type of stuff. I am like 21 or 22 at this time. This man is like almost 30. He was maybe 30, okay? And he just had like a scruffy look to him, and he wears like this suit, but it doesn't fit him right. It almost like droops on him. And he just, I don't know, like there was just something about him that made me feel so uneasy. And I immediately go to, you couldn't handle me. You're just be lucky that you don't, and you're not, because let me tell you, I'm crazy. I'm crazy. I am crazy. By the grace of God, here comes David. I see his headlights and I'm like, okay, gotta go. I get in a car. Of course, I tell David all the tea. And he's like, what? And he was like, babe, I don't think you should be, you know, down there anymore. Don't wait down there for me no more. And the reason why I did that, girl, is because, like, I ain't even gonna lie, and that suite up there, it got really creepy. And I don't want to go as far as to say that it was like haunted, but like I would hear, ooh, just thinking about it gives me like goosebumps. I would hear doors shutting by themselves. I would hear computers turning on by themselves. I would see like lights down the hallway turning on and off by themselves, and they were motion censored, bitch. And it was like driving me nuts. It's such a big suite. It's huge. And I hated being up there by myself. I don't know. Like, I don't know. So I would go down to the lobby where I don't know. So David was like, you know, I don't want you waiting in the lobby no more because this man is like fucking creepy. And I was like, well, what else am I supposed to do? Boom. I got the amazing idea. You know what? Self-love, self-care. I'm going to go ahead and just take advantage of the fact that we have a gym here. So instead of going down to the lobby, I'm just going to go to the gym, work on my booty, wait for David to text me, and then I'll come downstairs and I won't have to run into Corey. Problem solved. That's smart. Time went by. And, you know, David's job sites would always change, obviously. So he wasn't working at the same place. So he was able to get off work earlier. And, you know, I was telling him, I was like raving about this gym that was at my job or whatever. And, you know, gyms were expensive. And David and I, for the 1,000th time, no money. So I was like, oh my God, this gym is so amazing. And he was like, do you think I can use it? And I was like, yeah. So girl, he was like coming to my job after he was getting off work because he didn't work too far. And he was coming, parking, and he was coming inside and coming to the gym, and he would meet me at the gym. I would let him in and we would work out together and then leave together. I'm doing my own thing. I got my music, and then I switch over to the elliptical and I get on there and I start going, and there's one wall that's a mirror, and then the other walls are all glass that can see out into the city. Very pretty. So I'm facing the mirror, and behind me is the entrance to the gym. Nobody can get in that entrance unless you have a fob or the key card, right? Well, here I am doing my little thing, and I'm on the elliptical getting my booty right, and I hear the beep of the scanner at the door. And I'm like, okay, obviously other people can come in here, bitch. So I don't even think much of it. Okay, well, I guess I'm sharing. Oh, that's fine. And in the mirror, it was like something out of a scary movie, bitch. And I just see Corey's head pop in. And I'm looking at him through this mirror, and he is looking at me, and like the look on his face, it was just like, I don't know, like it was like, I found you. Like, I found you. I'm like going on my elliptical, right? And I have my headphones in. So I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna, hey. And like, you know, I'm listening to something, like I'm really into my workout, like, you know, whatever. So I just go, I do one of those, right? Girl, why does this boy walk all the way around, and he comes in between my elliptical and the mirror talking about, hey Corey, hi, how are you? So I stopped my workout and I'm like, this better be good. Just to like let him know, like I'm in the middle of something, like what? You know, I give him the whole like, oh yeah, you know, I was just trying to, you know, work on myself. And yeah, you know, I've been coming to the gym. And he was like, oh great, like awesome. And I am so confused because like, aren't you supposed to be like at work right now? Like, what are you doing? And so, you know, I was like, oh my God, like, are you not working night shift anymore? Or like, and he's gonna sit up here and tell me, oh, I have 30 minutes until my shift starts. So I figured I could get in a, you know, quick workout. He had 30 minutes, girl. And I was like, okay, well, so I go back to, you know, getting on my elliptical, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, you should get started then, you know, like that's crazy. That's a lot. And so I get back on my elliptical. He gets on the elliptical next to me. Keep in mind, there are only two because this is a smaller gym. Okay. It's pretty small. And y'all, he right here. And I'm like, oh my God, looking at the numbers on my elliptical, and he's like, I'll match that. And he starts like doing this whole matchy thing. And I'm like, can I go faster in this shit? And I'm like, can you just please, like, this is so weird. It felt like forever. And then finally there's a knock at the gym door. Cody is like, who is gonna be knocking? I get off the elliptical immediately knowing that it's David, and I'm like, oh yeah, no, it's for me. And he's like, and he stops his elliptical and he's like, wait, who is it? Like, do they work here? And without answering him, I just pop open the door for David, and I let David, and David comes in and he's like, hey baby, he's like, sorry, you know, like whatever. And he starts talking to me and he gives me a kiss. And I look up at Cody so that I could do the introduction, and this boy's face, bitch, let me tell you something. That boy was not happy. He was visibly upset, like visibly, like looking at David, like, and looking at me like I did something like to hurt his so I'm like, I go to turn, I'm like, Cody. And he's seriously looking at us, and he's like, he looks at David. He starts questioning him. Do you work here? Are you an employee here? What? You can't be here. No, you can't be here. No, that's against the rules, Nikki. You know that. No, I got clearance from my supervisor that I could have a spouse here. I thought you guys weren't married. And David's like looking at me like, what the fuck? I could literally see in David's face that he was connecting the two, that this has to be the weird dude that I've been telling him about. Like literally David's face was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me, bro. And so I was like, oh my God. I was like, yeah, well, like we're engaged. And he was like, well, I'm gonna have to like get clearance from your supervisor. You guys are gonna have to leave. Like he can't be here and this and that. He starts making a big old fuss, right? Girl, I was like, you know what? It's okay. Like I got in my workout, and David's sitting there and he is so frustrated. And he's like, bro, what the fuck? Are you serious? Like he came all the way up here, whatever. So I was just like, let's just go. And I lead David out, okay? And I take him out and I take him to the elevators, and here comes Cody. He leaves the gym too, and he is standing with us. We get onto the elevator with this man, and it is the most awkward elevator ride that I think I've ever had. Y'all think I'm petty? My husband. So the elevator, we get down to the bottom floor, and David goes like this, and I'm behind him, and he holds the door open and looks at Cody and was like, after you. It doesn't matter how much I say or, what I feel like I encountered or whatever. At the end of the day, when you're in this situation, it really is about the feeling, or the energy rather. You know the situation that you're in and how you are feeling. And I'm telling you right now, the feeling that I had with this man by myself was so uneasy, and like all of my radars were going off, and I just didn't feel safe. The next time I was at work, I talked to my supervisor about it, who was actually really cool. And I went in there and I was honest with him, and I told him everything that happened and what I've been doing and everything. And he knew about Cody, and he was like, oh yeah, I've seen him. And he was like, he just started here. And so, we started talking about him. He was like, oh my God. And so even my supervisor was like, nah, that's weird. And I was like, right. And so I told him what happened. I was like, I hope it's not a problem. I was like, but like I brought David into the gym, and like that's what we've been doing. And he was like, and at first I thought that my supervisor was going to be pissed, because like he looked at me like, what the fuck? And I was like, I'm sorry, like I didn't know. And he was like, no, I'm just confused because we can have our spouses use our cards. Like that's in the rules. And I was like, oh, I was like, well, that's what I said, but we're not like legally married. And he was like, Nikki, really? And I was like, I'm so serious. He was like, he had y'all leave? And I was like, yeah. He was like, nah. He was like, don't worry about it. If he gives you any issues going forward, let me know. Tell him he can come talk to me. Like my supervisor had my back all the way, because he was like, that's silly. Like nobody else is using the gym. I said it's okay. Like whatever, right? Because like our company paid for that membership, okay? Like nobody else did. So he was like, I'm telling you that that's okay. And I was like, okay. Well, like, I'm just letting you know that that's what happened. I go home, I tell David, and to be petty, David was like, well, I'm gonna be there tomorrow, and if he says anything to me, it's gonna be on site. And I'm like, okay, calm down. Fast forward, I finally get a car, okay? And it had been months since your girl had a car, and I was so happy. And so, I go to my supervisor, I get a parking pass, and they had like parking that was kind of like across the street down a little ways. And so, finally I'm driving to work, and like everything in the world was great, okay? So now that I had a car, my supervisor was like asking me to run errands for him around the city. So he was like having me leave, plus like sometimes I would leave during lunch. I'd been somewhere, I was like running errands or something, and it was during my lunch hour, and I had gotten back to the building kind of early. So I sat in like I sat in the foyer area. I sat in one of those chairs, and they're like big plush black leather. They're like leather chairs, real soft, and like they're real like curvy, okay? They're like real curvy furniture. Anyways, girl, I sit on this chair, and I was like on the phone. I think I was on the phone with David, and we're hee-hee ha-haing it up and and whatever. And then I get up, I get back to work, and the rest of the day goes on. So even though I had my car, I was still going to the gym, at least for a little bit. So the end of the day comes around, I have my little gym bag, I grab my purse, my gym bag, and I head out, and I go to the gym on like another floor, and I go up to the gym, I do my thing, and I'm not there for a whole lot of time. And then I get ready to leave, and I go into my purse to go grab my car keys. You know how you like start panicking and you're like, where the fuck? It goes from like you being very calm to like, I had to have like slipped down in this crevice, and then you go and it's like literally nowhere to be found, and you're like, what the y'all, my heart starts beating so fast, and I'm like, no. So you guys, I look everywhere in the gym. I start retracing my steps. I go back into the gym. I like start looking everywhere. I go back into my office. I use my key card. I look everywhere. I look all under my desk, everywhere. No keys. I go into the bathroom, everywhere that I had been. I get on the elevator and I go down to the foyer, and the last place that I needed to look was where I had been sitting on that couch on the phone. So I go down there, and I know that I'm going to run into Cody, and I am just preparing myself to run into Cody. I haven't had any need to like talk to him or see him. Sure enough, guess who's sitting at the desk? And he looks up at me. I just say hi, and I keep going, and I'm like searching, right? And he doesn't say anything else to me. And I just start searching where I was sitting. I start searching like on the floor, and I'm like, oh my God. And I'm clearly looking for something, and I'm like, oh my God, right? I just want you guys to visualize this real fast. I am in this huge foyer in the dark, and like everything outside is dark, and there's just like a few lights where the elevators are, and then he's at the desk and he's just staring at me. He's not pretending to do anything else. He is just staring at everything that I'm doing. He's not asking, he didn't ask what I was looking for, if he could help, nothing. He's just, and I call David in front of him, and I'm still like searching around. David answers, and I tell him what's going on, and I tell him I can't find my keys, and he's like, what? And I was like, I can't find my keys. I don't know where they are. And so, you know, David starts working with me, talking me through it, and I have searched all and around all the areas that I was in this foyer. So I'm just like, all right, I'm going to start over and start fresh, because I have to find my car keys. They have to be here somewhere. Like, what the hell? So I decide, so while I'm on the phone, I get back on the elevator, and I go right back up to my suite where I work. And I'm like, okay, and I'm still on the phone with David, and I'm like, okay, I'm like back at my desk. I'm looking, girl. I'm like all underneath my keyboard, like it's going to be under there. And I'm like my file cabinets and stuff. Nada, I can't find it. I go into the break room, the bathroom, the hallway. I mean, girl, like at no stone was left unturned. And I'm like, oh my God. So I exhaust everything at the gym, and I feel like I am losing my fucking mind. So I'm like, okay, maybe I missed something. And David is like, hey, is that dude there? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, did you ask him if he's seen anything? And I was like, no. If anybody has seen them and he left them down there, it's probably him. So like, just keep me on the phone and ask him if he's seen them. And I was like, okay. So I get back on the elevator, and I'm at the gym at this point, okay? I get back on the elevator, and I go all the way down to the foyer. Down that corner, and I'm like ready to ask Cody, have you seen my keys? And the desk is empty. He's not there. And I'm on the phone, and I'm like, babe, he's not here. So I go back over to the couches, and I was like, so, you know, to go look around, maybe I missed something. So I'm on the phone, and I'm like, babe, I looked over here. And he was like, okay. He was like, you sure you looked everywhere? And I was like, yeah. And check the desk. Huh? And he was like, the security desk. Check the desk. Bitch, I felt like I was like on a heist movie, bitch. I was like, what you mean? The way that this desk was built, girl, there was only one side of it. It was like a big rectangle, but the other side of the rectangle was closed. And then it went like this, and then this side was open, okay? So like there was only one way in and one way out, and it was a long, and where he sat was like all the way at the other end, okay? So my heart is beating so fast, and I'm like, David, you want me to go back over there? And he was like, yeah. He was like, maybe he picked them up and put them back there. Like, just go check. And I was like, nah, he would have told me. He was like, we're going back and forth. And he was like, just check it. And I was like, oh my God. My ass is shuffling. I start shuffling, and I go behind that desk, and it seems like the longest walk down to the other end. And like, that's where like the computer and everything was, right? So I like go down there. Everything else was just solid marble. There was nothing on the desks except for at the very end. So I have to walk all the way down there. So I'm down there and I'm like whispering to David on the phone. I'm like, okay, I'm back here. And he was like, just like look wherever you can and see if you can find your keys. And I was like, okay. So I get down to the end. I'm by the computer. I move the chair out of the way, and there's like this like little space underneath the computer that it almost looks like a cubby. There's like, you know, like a little organizer in there and stuff like that, Post-its and stuff. You guys, right there. Why do I see my fucking keys? Grabbed them so fast and I was like, oh my God, they're here. They are here. And I am at the end of the desk, okay? I just go like this and I can see the elevators that I usually take, because like the first half on this side, they only take you to up to like a specific floor. And then the other side is for all of the rest of the floors, if that makes sense, okay? Because this is a hella tall building. So the elevators that I usually always took were right there on my left. It's completely silent in here. There's literally not another soul where I'm at. So I can hear the like the elevator moving, bitch. And I look around that corner and I can see that the elevator is counting down because somebody's coming down the elevator, bitch. And I know that it's Cody, bitch. I know, bitch. I have never moved so fast. My ass runs down the length of that desk. I have to run all the way around, kind of get all my bags and stuff. I have my keys in my hand and I run out of the glass doors, and I can hear that elevator door opening as I'm running out of those doors. And when I tell you, I ain't even gonna say run. I jogged my way back to my car with David on the phone the whole time. I get in my car, I lock the doors, and I'm like, David, like, what the fuck? Y'all, I'm sitting here so confused. Like, there's no way that he found those keys from the time that I looked to the time that I like did my whole rounds again. Like, there's no way that I missed them. I think that he found my keys, or maybe another security guard found my keys and like had them there, and he saw me looking for them and he just didn't tell me. He didn't want to tell me for whatever reason. I personally think he was just being petty McPeck. There was no way in the world, because them keys were right there. I think that Cody was pissed that I didn't just like go up to him and talk to him and ask him. So he just like had me looking around just to look stupid and to like, you know, just get his ha-ha moment in and like just let me panic, knowing that he had those keys there the whole time. F the OT. I didn't get no more OT after that. I did not want to run into Cody. It just freaked me out. I didn't know what he was planning to do. Maybe it was just him being petty. It was definitely like a man's ego that was affected by the fact that I wasn't like, I don't know, responsive to him the way that he wanted me to be. But I know for a factual fact that that boy had my keys and did not tell me, and like had me looking around for them. And I also think that he was in that elevator because he was trying to find me at my office, and I wasn't there because I went to the gym and then went back down. And I think that he was trying to catch me up there. I don't know, because why else? I don't know. Bravo to David for even telling me to look behind there, because I would have never thought. It didn't even cross my mind. I'm not even gonna lie, that was all David. So after that, best believe I kept my eyes on my keys. You know, that's one of those things that you just don't really think about. You just plop them, you know, like it's just like an everyday thing. But really keep an eye on like your keys and your phone and like the things that are personal to you even. And also, girl, what I learned as well, you know, when you take your car in for maintenance, or like you take it in to get cleaned or whatever, if at any point in time that your car is in the possession of somebody else, valets, if you get your car valeted and you have a garage door opener, girl, take it out. Take it out. I'm serious. They can get access to your car. They have access to so much because your registration is in there that has your address on it. You could have a car garage door opener that they can, it is so easy to get another one of those and like be able to open your garage door. Look it up. I'm serious. Like, this is the stuff that I had to learn, and it's all about safety. Keep an eye on the things that are personal to you, because in the wrong hands, like your safety could be in jeopardy 100%. Like walking with friends to the parking lot, because you know I had other coworkers that parked in the same parking lot as I did. I was like very hardly ever alone. And then shortly thereafter, we got another branch and I ended up working in another building that was like a few blocks away, and I didn't have to worry about it no more. But that is my story about, you know, just being in the presence of somebody that really, you know, kind of makes me just feel off. A lot of people will ask you like, why? Like, why do you feel this way? And like, maybe that's not enough. It's not anybody else's job to dictate how you felt. Don't let nobody else tell you how you feel, how you should feel, like what it could have been, not coulda, woulda, shoulda. If you feel anything in your body that is telling you danger, it's danger. Listen to yourself, because there's always advocates for the other person. And some of y'all gonna be like, oh, that wasn't that weird. Or maybe he was just waiting to tell you and this and that and third. Like, no. You weren't there. I was feeling the vibes. You did not. So like, that's the end of it, period. Anyways, y'all, that is my story for today. If you guys take away anything from the story, just please be safe. Watch your things. Don't get so comfortable with laying your phone anywhere or your keys, your car garage door opener. Lock your doors out of your car, in your car. I don't care how little time it's going to be. I don't care if you're going from the pump at the gas station to inside of the store. Lock your car, lock your stuff, and do not be on the phone. Do not be listening to loud music when you're going to your car. Like, so many things. And if you guys want like a video of like some of my safety tips and tricks, let me know, because I just want you guys to be safe always. And yeah, just be aware. I love y'all. Don't let nobody make y'all feel uncomfortable. Okay, you always have a way out, and you know, feelings and vibes. And yeah, so that is my story for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Y'all be safe out there. Thank you guys so much for coming and chilling with me. I love you, but God loves you more. I will see your fine self in my next video. Peace out, y'all.